the old British uh, patriotism and all that sort of thing. My grandfather was a soldier. My father was a soldier, and my uncles had been all soldiers in the four uncles in World War I. So I was fairly well grounded in military. Well, the romance of aerial participation in anything to do with airplanes and air. Growing up, we had a number of aviation pioneers in Cape Breton. Alexander Graham Bell developed his Silver Dart there, and the first flight in the British Empire took place from the Vidor Lakes in wintertime off the ice. So I was aware of all this, and we had older young men who were very much involved in airplanes and making airplanes and flying them all around the place. The Queen Mary sailed unescorted. It was unescorted, and except for a certain amount of aerial surveillance, it set its own course and pretty well. So anyway, we were picked we were assigned to night fighter courses.
So
and from there we went up to Newcastle on Tyne, where they had a training school for navigators, for night fighter navigators, on radar control to ground control and air control interception of
now, was this,
planes.
what kind of an aircraft was this at the time?
No, I think that was the Anson. That was the Anson. I can't. I think we had Ansons. Yeah, I think it was the same thing. We did it on Ansons. So there'd be 3 or 4 navigators go up with a pilot and practice intercepting another friendly plane out there. Heard a bell ahead of me on the road. There was a tinkling of the bell. I said, "What in the world? It must be a parade." And a couple of seconds later, just out of the mist and the fog, the big cow came down the road, and there was a little French girl, about 10-year-old girl, leading this cow back to. I suppose they'd been up early and milked the cow, and they're taking it to pasture. And she looked at me. It didn't seem to faze her very much. She kind of just kept on walking with the cow and come up alongside of me, and she saw the Canada on my shoulder, battle dress shoulder, flash. And she said, Canada, Canada, vous tombez, vous tombez. I said, oui, je tombe. So, arrête, ici. And she went on with the cow. The little French girl, she took me in tow and took me up to her farmhouse. And they all were French speaking, of course, and had no English. And my French was very scattery at best. So anyway, they took me in, and they were having breakfast, and they gave me a cup of this chicory coffee or whatever it was, and black bread or dark bread and cheese. That's their breakfast. Mm-hmm. And they tried to communicate, and it wasn't very successful. But anyway, after a while, a gendarme came to the door, French policeman. Apparently somebody had called him and told him that I was there. So he came along, and he said, he had a little English, and he said, well, we wait. He said, your friend, we pick him up, and he's coming. So we waited about 5 minutes. Jim Jim showed up with the police van and cop. So I was quite surprised. He broke a bone in his foot when he landed. He got out, and when he landed pretty hard. But he landed right in the farmyard, and between the house and the barn, and the plane came down right, just about 100 yards, less than 100 yards away. So that woke up the whole, the farm all woke up. But anyway, they came out and he was right there in the farmyard. So they took him in, and he had a great time. They broke out.